Hello and welcome to the AfcIntel Podcast. My name is TJ and today I'm going to be joined by my good friend and Arsenal fan, Kanye Chambers.
Kanye, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, TJ?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Arsenal not been great recently. We're going to have a lot to talk about today. So we're going to be going over myself and Kanye, first of all, how we became Arsenal fans, and then into the recent performances, and then some January transfers if we have the time. So yeah, as I say, me and Kanye, both Arsenal fans, but we're from Borough, we live in Borough. So to some people that's probably quite confusing. Kanye, how did that come about for you?
Supporting Arsenal came about for me purely because of my mum, purely because she supported Arsenal. And I'm pretty certain it came about for her purely because her uncle supported Arsenal as well.
Yeah.
So it's just been passed down. And obviously, when she followed Arsenal, probably she started early 90s.
Yeah.
She'd always go to all the away games up
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And then...
Well, she got like the best era then, didn't she?
Well, yeah, she was telling me about how she went to Hartlepool away in I think it was the FA Cup or the League Cup, and how she saw Ian Wright score a hat-trick. Wright was her favourite player, and he scored it in front of her, and like she said, it was like the best match she's ever seen.
Yeah.
What about yourself, TJ?
Yeah, I was going to say that's usually what it is, isn't it? It's either it's your local or it's your dad, your mum's team. You know what I mean? And that's what it was for me. It was my dad's team. So as soon as I knew what football was, he got me straight into Arsenal. And for him, I think it was just because it was, again, his parents. You know, they supported Arsenal, so it just gets passed down, doesn't it? And I think that's always the thing. It's your local club or it's your parents' club. So yeah. Anyway, Arsenal, current Arsenal. Recently, not been great, have we?
No, that West Ham game wasn't fun to watch. I'll say that.
The last two games been painful.
Very poor. Fulham as well.
Yeah,
not good. I think you can clearly see what's lacking though in the team. It's creativity up front.
Yeah,
you know, I look at the defense, like the spine of the team, with Gabriel, Saliba and Rice, and I don't even know if there's a better spine in the league.
Well, even them though, recently these last two games they've looked shaky. I mean, the whole team has, you know.
Honestly though, I think like West Ham, they offered nothing really bar that.
No.
Literally bar the goal, and then it was a set piece, wasn't it? It was a corner.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was a smash and grab for them.
Literally, but fair play, you know.
Yeah, of course. We just weren't good enough in the end, really. The finishing's just so poor.
I mean, West Ham, we had 30 shots. 30 shots and you're not scoring one. That's a bit of a worry, to be honest.
Yeah. The way we started that game as well, it looked like we were going to absolutely destroy them.
They couldn't get near. And then it's almost, I think, I noticed, maybe even second half of last season, if we don't get the early goal, it's almost... confidence, you can almost see it in the team going down.
It's at the start to panic, don't they?
Yeah, questioning. Like they don't get the early goal to settle the nerves, and then they're like, "Oh, what do we do now?"
Yeah. I think it's probably the experience in the team, isn't it? I mean, we've always talked about how young the squad is. That's probably one of the downsides of it, which is what we saw at the end of last season. The experience maybe was lacking.
I think, speaking about recently, I'm confused. Because I look at that Anfield performance, you go away to Anfield, just before Christmas, second versus first, and then that, we took the lead, unbelievable Gabriel header, and then despite conceding, I still thought we were. Yeah, we could have came away with the 3 points, and we could have came away with 3 points there.
Yeah, for sure.
It was that Ødegaard decision, but there was mentality, and you could see like the team were just on it, and yet then you go to West Ham. And it's just
at home as well.
Opposite, at home.
The West Ham game was at home. I mean, I think has our home form been better than away? It has been, hasn't it? That was our first loss.
That was our first loss at home. Yeah. I think that also comes into, is it a bit of complacency? Maybe we saw West Ham at home, but then again, I don't know why they would, because West Ham's 6th in the league. They're doing pretty well themselves.
I feel that a lot these days. When these last couple seasons when we've been a lot better, I think maybe they start to get a bit arrogant. It's, midweek game and they're just thinking, we'll just walk all over these, and then, it's a Premier
game
League.
after
You
Christmas,
can't
maybe
take
they
teams
weren't.
like that.
Maybe they weren't as ready and as prepared as they should have been. I'm not sure, but it certainly looked that way.
Yeah.
I think what I was going to say is I think those two performances, like Fulham and West Ham, they do highlight the lack of a striker.
Yeah.
Or the lack of someone to actually get a chance and put it in the back of the net.
Well, I've seen this talk on Twitter, and I saw someone say we haven't solved our striker problem for years, realistically, because Jesus has been good, but he's still never reached like
he's not a
10,
finisher,
15 goals, and and unfortunately, it seems his creating is better than his finishing. He's better at creating the chance than finishing the chance. And it's not what we need, because we have a few creators, although they haven't been great in recent games.
Martinelli's been a bit poor, but it's just
Martinelli's a bit of a worry at the moment, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's just a patch right now, but
I think it's a confidence thing. I think one goal or so and it'll be fine.
Yeah, and I mean, I look at this season, and now we're fourth in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's so tight, though. I feel like
it is. Yeah, it's not like last season.
Nah, it's completely different.
It's wide open. But all I'd say is in terms of title race and where we are and stuff, we're fourth and it is wide open. But the last two performances have been concerning, like the way we played and stuff, and they almost gave up. It looks like they've given up a bit in the last couple of games, and that's not good.
I think January inspiration is needed, personally.
Well, obviously that's what we'll get on to. But what I was going to say is that I think one way you could look at it is we started losing silly games here and there, but at this point last season we'd barely lost a game and we were flying. There was loads of pressure on us and everyone was saying we had the season wrapped up.
Maybe, right?
I would.
This is crazy. But maybe we're in a better position.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I would rather we do this now, we learn from it, and at the business end of the season, that's when we turn it on.
100%.
Just like City did. City weren't this good.
City were pretty poor last season until it was about end of January time when they started their run, and then they just
they turned it on
unbelievable until the end of the season.
Yeah. So I don't think it's a big issue, but I think some January changes would be very important. So January signings, the window's just opened, literally a couple of days ago, and as we've said, January could be important if we are going to challenge for the title this season. Because we've just up front, it's the main problem, and I think we need another attacker, another striker. So I've seen literally just yesterday, Dusan Vlahovic links. We got linked to him, maybe 2 years ago now.
Fiorentina.
Yeah. Brilliant striker. I mean, there was a lot of talk that he rejected us when the rumours were first going about, which is something I'm not a fan of. But brilliant striker. I mean, if that's what Arteta wants, then I think it will be a.
Well, what do they say? Isn't it what people say? Arteta doesn't leave his targets.
No, yeah.
So
everyone he's went for, ended up getting in the end.
If he likes him before, he'll come back around, won't he? And I think Vlahovic, he's not scored that many this season, but I think it's more down to how much we create. You get a striker like him, he starts scoring goals. It's almost that confidence thing where if he came in the team, he scored from game one, then he'd probably just fly till the end of the season. That's what you'd like to think anyway.
I think a proper striker would absolutely eat in our team. Like the chances we do.
The amount of possession we hold and we suffocate teams. It's just begging for a striker, just in that middle. Martinelli and Saka feeding them. And
Jesus just isn't clinical enough.
Any half decent striker in this team is scoring, 15 to 20. You'd like to think anyway.
Yeah. A striker will be huge. It's exactly what we need. That's the main thing I'd say we go for in the window. But unfortunately, and as I said to you before we started recording, January windows can be a bit rough for Arsenal. I mean, a lot of teams they're not really that active in the January window. But past years, we've just had zero signings to loan deals.
Well, I was just going to contradict what you were saying there and say, generally, I think we had a really good window last January. Bringing in Jorginho and Trossard.
Trossard, no, it was good.
Trossard, what he added was like, I still think he's good. I still think he should probably be playing through the middle. Maybe
For me,
needs a chance.
I only think he's been good off the bench. Whenever he started, he's not looked great.
Yeah.
But he's
Everton away, he was brilliant. Everton away, he was brilliant. I thought.
Yeah.
I think he's a valuable part of the team. I like him. And Jorginho, he's not really been involved as much this season, but obviously we saw his importance second half of last season. Just that experienced player.
Yeah.
I know he had the Spurs game this season, which wasn't great, obviously, but I still think he's valuable. Obviously, you just can't have everyone being young. You need someone who's won a Champions League, who's
and it's not like he was a massively expensive player for the club either, was he? He was only about 12 million or something like that.
Which is, maybe we should be picking someone like that up again. I mean,
again, Arsenal just worry me in January windows. Sometimes we do absolutely nothing, and then, like you say, sometimes we do have good
Dennis Suarez.
windows. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of really, and I think it was 1920. All we came out the window with was Pablo Mari and Cedric. I think it was.
Great.
Yeah,
but you'd have to think now. The owners, Kroenke, he must see that we're 5 points off, but we're still very much in this race. If we bring in the reinforcement in January, that could get the team back to where we should be.
Yeah.
That could be so key to winning the title. And what I was going to mention was, we might like to dream. We are still in the Champions League. I still want to go far there.
Yeah.
But if we bring some solid, like maybe just 2 signings in January.
Yeah.
I mean, last year showed how important they could be. So again, Arteta, I think he's very clear in his press conference today. He's very clear about he wants his player. He doesn't want to sign someone for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And I think that could be maybe a bit dangerous, but maybe not.
Yeah.
We
saw that in the past with. I remember Unai wanted Zaha, didn't he? And the board went with Pepe, and we saw how that worked out.
Well, but I think with Arteta, it's more like he wants a profile, and if he doesn't get the profile, he's just not going to sign anyone.
Right. I see what you mean.
Yeah. So it's like if he doesn't get the profile of player he's after, then we won't sign anyone.
Yeah.
That almost worries me in a way because I think we have to at least pick one player up in January just for the squad because defensively we're a bit short, aren't we? With Tomiyasu.
Yeah, left back's looking a bit dodgy. I have seen us rumoured of some loan deals for left backs.
Well, but that's what they said, haven't they? But only if we get a left back, it'd be a loan.
Yeah. And we haven't had the more successful loans in the past. I mean, Odegaard's the only one I can remember, to be honest.
Yeah, genuinely. Obviously, the big link is Tony.
Yeah.
But that, from, like Ornstein, reliable sources are saying that's not happening in January.
Tony's one for me that before the ban, I wanted at Arsenal, but these days I'm not too sure. I mean, what's it going to be like after the ban? And do you want to be signing a player that comes with that extra baggage? I mean, we've seen he's had issues with Brentford, regarding the ban, and then the other stuff he's done off the pitch. And they want silly money for him, which is understandable.
He's worth obviously 80 to 100 million to them.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Us, can you pay 80 million to 100 million on a player that hasn't played in 6 months? There's 3 striker targets almost that we've been linked with: Vlahovic, Tony. Then there's the big one, which would 100% would not happen in January. It'd be a summer move, but that's Victor Osimhen.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that is the big one. That's the ultimate, isn't it?
I think he'd be brilliant.
I mean, if we are serious, that is the type of player we'll go pick up in the summer. Yeah.
With a player like Osimhen, I think we have to challenge for this league properly.
Yeah.
And I think we need to go find the Champions League.
That's a good point you've made there, to be fair, about the attracting the players and stuff, because that was a problem a couple of years ago. We couldn't bring anyone in. Who wanted to come to Arsenal a few years back, but now you've got us challenging for titles in the Champions League. We've got a young team project.